by Saturday evening. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
They're in my ears.
They're in my head.
They're in my veins.
They're in my pocket. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Download the Odyssey app and listen anywhere. Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Hey, Laker fan, regarding that whole no one thought we'd beat Houston either, so of course we have a shot at OKC thing. Sure you don't. Houston was playing without their Hall of Famer, who allegedly had already poisoned the locker room with his burner phone and his social media feed. No names mentioned, Kevin Durant. But these are the defending champs, and they have already smacked the Lakers 4 times this season. And after last night, you can go ahead and make it 5. And that was on a night with their soon-to-be back-to-back MVP, SGA, was off. Not that that mattered, and not that he's going to play that poorly again. Nobody on the Lakers, not named LeBron, did anything last night except for Jared Vanderbilt, who put his pinky on backwards. Gruesome, by the way. If the Lakers win even one game, they should hang a banner right next to the one they fly for winning Powder's in-season tourney a few years ago, because this series is already over. I'm Jim Rome.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary.
Attention! Stop! Pay attention!
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
Good morning. Hope you're paying attention. Thanks, Max, for the open there. Give everybody clear and cut directions of what's going on here for the next couple hours on 97.5 KFH. It's Sports Daily. Tejay, Cleland in with Brady, Bauman. Brady, it took like a week, less than a week, and we've already got our first Cleland and Bauman in the morning. I imagine the people across Wichita have been waiting with bated breath to hear the two Stooges talk to each other. Maybe just get a show without Albrock is what people have been really clamoring for. No stupid Hawaiians today. We got a busy show, lots to get into, a little bit of Royals talk, a little bit of probably more shocker golf reaction as it's sweeping some headlines across the golf world right now, across the country, and much more things to get into. Lots of things happening. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company. That features Caddy Snack, Wichita's golf beer. Caddy Snack Blonde Ale, freshly crushable. Makes a perfect pairing from the first tee to the 19th hole. No matter the score, Caddy Snack reminds you to beer the ball. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. Brady, good morning.
Good morning, TJ. What a great combination of those three things: golf, pizza, and beer.
Golf, pizza, and beer. It's almost like Cleland. It's almost like Cleland and Bauman. They just go together. I think it's a Luke Combs song that says stuff like that, I believe. So lots of stuff that we're going to get into. Some Royals.
There should be.
Some Royals last night. Jack Caglione, not in the starting lineup. First time that they face a lefty in the little span that they had. We thought that was just what was going to happen now, and he was going to be a starter. And then Jacob was right the first time that we see a lineup with the lefty on the bump. He is not in there. We'll discuss that at length. The streak is over. They're no longer going streaking. I hate so much that they aren't going streaking by the time I did the first show with Brady, because I was so ready to just make the stupid old school reference over and over again. Everybody's doing it. You think Kentucky Fried Chicken's still open?
Everybody.
We're going streaking through the quad.
Classic.
Brady,
we need that on the hot button key or something.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, more stuff behind you. You got like do I see the Bram back there? Do we need like a little tour to start the show? What's going on now? There's more than Optimus Prime, it sounds like.
That's right. Well, there's Bumblebee too, of course. But I know you knew that. But yeah, I took that picture actually. That's when I took my parents with me actually to K-State OU. And that was a game I think they clinched. I'm sure it was a share, if I remember right. I think all the recent Big 12 championships for K-State and basketball have been shares, but that was a share. So got that with my phone when all the confetti was going down. That was the last, that was the peak of Bruce Weber, a Brewska ball in Manhattan, actually, was probably that moment.
There you go. Lots to talk about Frank Martin recently.
Yeah,
the Bosco's boys up in Manhattan. They've got a podcast with Frank Martin, actually. It's pretty cool to hear him talk about all the old times of K-State yonder, back when Brady was a wee, 25-year-old back then. He's an old man.
Actually, that's probably about right, actually.
Oh, man. I was trying. Okay, well, all right. That makes me feel a little bad now that I said that. I thought I was being satirical there.
Well, hold on. Like when Frank Martin was first hired, that was like 2007, if I remember right. 2007, 2008.
So I'm not that far off.
So that was my younger 20s.
Was
that
he
was
after
early in my K-State career?
Help me with my timeline. Was he after Huggins or before Huggins?
He was right after Huggins because he was an assistant for Huggins.
Oh, that's right. That's
for 1 year and then left, which that was a shock on campus. Yeah.
Okay.
And we basically hired him to keep Beasley and Bill Walker.
Michael Beasley.
I can go
all
day.
What a time. Speaking of K-State basketball, what a segue we have there. Coming up later in the show, Tim Fitzgerald will join our K-State insider. Last week, we heard from Casey Alexander for the first time since he was hired, basically. I think it's the first press conference he had since his initial press conference. So, and he did it because he has a team. There's a team that is able to take the court. He says that they're probably done recruiting at least scholarship players. And so we know what it's going to look like on the court. Well, we don't know what it's going to look like on the court, but we know the names of the players that will be playing. I think that you could probably, if somebody could guess the starting five, that you could probably, buy a lottery ticket. I have no idea who those guys will be. So we'll get Tim Fitz's take on that, see what he has to say. A little bit of K-State jersey discourse going around. If you're on social media for more than an hour, you're always bound to just see a K-State alternate jersey that's fake because people lose their minds about that kind of thing. But for some reason, it's got legs right now, and everybody loves talking about it. The anthracite and lavender, which nothing screams K-State football more than anthracite and lavender, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that's in the fight song somewhere, if I remember right. It's been a while.
It has to be. It's an interesting conversation. I can't lie. Me and Jacob always talk about jerseys at length, about the City Connects in baseball and the City Edition in basketball. And sometimes they go too far. Sometimes they're just right. Sometimes they're pretty good. Sometimes you're like the Royals and you have helmets that reflect the fuchsia sunsets of fuchsia sunset. I can't say fuchsia sunsets of Kansas City. That's what they're those tomorrow. So haven't seen them in a while, but yeah. Anyways, lots of stuff on tap coming up. Brady, what's been up, man? We talked last night. What's on the docket today? Anything good?
Down. We'll find out together. You know how it is on the news reporting side day to day back in your news days. You never know what each day will bring you, but yeah, I'm excited to get going here.
Yep.
Talk some sports. Talk with Fitz. I used to see Fitz all the time back in the day. Yeah,
Fitz hadn't seen you since you were like 12 years old, probably back in the day. So we'll see.
I look 12 years old. Yeah.
Should we put Fitz to the test and take Brady's name tag off in the corner and just have him sit there and just ask him, "Do you remember me, Fitz? Do you remember me?" And we'll put him on the spot on live radio in the morning.
I'm kind of afraid what he'll say.
Well, we won't. I don't know to say that may not be the best idea, but anyways, lots to get into.
I have a question for you. Since you've returned back from across the pond,
yes,
how many people? And no offense to our many Scottish or Irish listeners, because I don't want to get things confused as far as which country this actually pertains to. But since you've been back, how many people have been telling you like early in the morning, like top of the morning, TJ? How's it been? Have you been getting a lot of that?
Not really, actually, which kind of surprises me. I didn't really get a bunch of it over there either. But yeah, I think you're right. Is that's like a whole? I mean, in my mind, that's a whole like United Kingdom type of thing, honestly, which isn't Ireland, but that feels like the whole group over there. If you've kind of got that accent, it feels like that's the kind of thing that you'd say. But no, I haven't heard one of them. But
right,
maybe I need new friends then. If nobody said that to me, so as we keep saying,
you readjusted.
It's getting better. Yes, I've stopped waking up at 4:30 in the morning. So now we wake up at normal times. So as we said, lots to get into. We got a busy show on tap. We'll start with some Royals. We'll get into some Wichita State golf reaction still. Brady actually doing some digging on the news side last night on TV for some golf reaction. Spoke to one of the players about how it all went down. Everything like that. What does it mean for golf in Wichita? That's the next big question of all this stuff. And we'll continue to react. What does it mean for elsewhere as well? There's some headlines coming out about Arkansas tennis. They just got the axe as well. So we'll tell you everything you need to know. If you're on the way to work, you can keep listening to Sports Daily, even after you park the car. Get the Odyssey app or Odyssey.com. Download the app, visit Odyssey.com, search for KFH. You can find us here. You can find Dan Patrick at 11 a.m. You can find some Royals later this afternoon. Cleland and Bauman with you this morning. We're talking Royals coming up after the break.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Do this thing. Go! Sports Daily is on KFH.
Welcome back in, everybody. Sports Daily, KFH, Tejay, Cleland, Brady, Bauman in with you. Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. I keep saying lots of stuff, but that's because there is lots of stuff. Longhoffer Lawn and Tree Care, they've got lots of stuff as well. They're celebrating 60 years in Wichita, providing expert lawn care for healthy lawn, tree, and shrub care and bedweed control since 1966. Longhoffer Lawn and Tree Care. Brady, last night, the streak, it finally came to an end. The Royals, it ends at 5 consecutive wins. They fall to the Guardians 3-1. Not a ton of offense really from either side. It was kind of some scrape by runs in that game. Royals can't get it done. You kind of look at where things went wrong, and the number one thing that you want to look to last night is that Cole Ragans only gave him 3 innings. They're three pretty good innings. Comes out, got an elbow injury, which in baseball, Brady, is never what you want to hear. We'll dig into that, what that means for Cole Ragans, because it's now another injury for Cole Ragans. What does that mean? If it is bad, then what does that mean? I think we need to overreact a smidge to forecast what that means for the rest of the regular season. But last night, you have the headline at about 3 o'clock when the lineup comes out that Jack Caglione isn't in the lineup. And Brady, the Royals could have won by 10, and I think that we still have this conversation, right?
At least. Yeah, at least. This is what Jacob and I were talking about on Friday. Like, I asked Jacob what he would do if they took him out at all when a lefty came up, and he was hoping against hope that wouldn't happen, but it's in the books. We saw it yesterday, and yeah, especially when you lose, right? Especially when you lose, you're thinking like, oh, throw him in there.
Yeah. Well, that guy's one hit would have changed the outcome, wouldn't it have? Yeah, he would have hit 4 home runs. He would have won the game.
Just takes one. Just takes one.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It at the end of the day, like, it's not a big deal for the outcome. But the thing that I'm saying here is why we're talking about it so much, and even if they won the game, why it's such a big deal, is that this guy's the number 1 prospect in your organization. You took him 6th overall. He was the best player in college baseball. And you get him here, and you look across all the other top prospects that are, forecasted right there with them of, what are Jackson Holiday and all these guys that were all top 10 picks that are all in the bigs already, Kurtz from the Athletics, things of that nature. The Connor Griffin for the Pirates, exactly perfect example. But like, why, if you have a guy like that, you've got to let him play. And it's not so much of like, you got to let him play because they need him in there and he's going to help them win the games, which he is going to help him win the games. But it's not like it's Bobby Witt Jr. I understand that. Like he's not completely full as a prospect quite yet. But you know how you do that, Brady, is you play him against lefties. That's the thing that's infuriating about this, is if you're not going to let him play when a lefty's on the mound, then you got to, like, how is he going to get better at it? Like, and I understand it's layman's terms that it's baseball and it's more complicated than that. And there's probably stats that say that Lane Thomas is better against lefties than Jack Caglione is, which it probably has merit to it. But there's no reason that we can't say, okay, today, Cags, you're going to DH. We're going to give Carter Jensen the day off. We're going to put you at first base. We're going to give Vinny Pasquantino the day. We're going to rearrange things and figure out a way to get him in there. Excuse me. It gets me so fired up. I want to choke on my own saliva here. Bobby Witt Jr. is not missing games. And Bobby Witt Jr. didn't miss games his rookie year.
Yeah.
And,
calm down, TJ.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And that's what Jacob, his point has been in all this stuff, is that you've got to let him play. And then, to take a step further, Brady, is that you look up the splits, and he's been one of the best hitters on the team over the last week. And that's the part that Jacob brings up, that we were kind of being satirical about, oh, what are they going to do if they don't play him? It's like, we're not going to have to worry about that. They're not going to not play him. Look at how he's been hitting the ball. And here we are, they didn't play him. Am I correct in my assessment? What's your thoughts?
That's I share those thoughts as well. I don't understand it because, like you said, Brad Pitt and the World War II, the Tarantino movie at the end when he's doing that. Well, I don't know how much I want to go into the actual movie. It's not very like sports friendly conversation necessarily, but one of my favorite lines in the movie is where somebody says, "Man, how are you getting so good at that?" More or less, and he goes, "Well, you know how you get to Carnegie, don't you? Practice." And that's kind of the same thing with that. Have him face the lefties, whether he struggles or not. He has to get it figured out some point. Like what his whole career, say a Royal, his whole career.
Exactly.
Accuse the manager. Are you just going to never play him against lefties? What's the point of that?
I agree. That's the whole point. And they're going to get into a bind where we see the contract situations with prospects like him, like they did with Bobby Witt Jr., like the Pirates just did with Connor Griffin, who's in the same draft as Cags, is that like you play for just a little bit, and if you see the flash of promise, like, all right, here's a 10-year deal. Like, we got to just not let anybody, because if you let them get to free agency, then comes the mega $200 million deals. If they pan out, then you're paying them like Juan Soto. And if that's the case, and the Royals aren't having him in their outfield, because that doesn't happen in Kansas City, they're not paying a contract like that. So will that happen? I honestly, I don't think it's out of the realm, is that if he produces and kind of keeps up his splits that he's on right now, not the early season, but right now, if he can hit for more power a little bit, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they find a way to sign him to at least a couple of year deal just to try to, combat the free agency that would come down the road to kind of lock him up and let him be a part of the core that they have. I understand money's an issue, and that, it's not as simple as me just saying, I like that guy, let's pay him. You got to fit it in a budget somewhere. But that's my point that I'm getting to here. I'm making a big circle to get back to this, is that you're going to get put in a corner, and you're going to have to make that decision at some point. And whenever you're sitting there in the negotiating room and you're looking at it and it's like, man, this guy could be right there with Bobby Witt Jr. and helping us lead our franchise for the next 7-8 years, fill in the blank, however long you want to say. And it's like, we got to pay him. But can we pay him if he can't hit lefties? It's like, oh, why can't he hit left? Because we never played him against the lefties. What if he is here for 10 years, Brady? I agree. When do you, swallow your pride as Matt Quatraro, and say, like, you know what? Today's the day. Today you're going to start hitting against the lefties. Because, when does that happen? Because you have to make a decision of when you're willing to take that risk, I guess. There's only 162 of these games. Maybe we can try it every once in a while. And guess what? Against the Angels last 2 weeks ago, he hit 2 home runs off of lefties. So I don't know. I digress. We're going to have this conversation until August. But I'm with you. I don't know. I don't know what they have to do about it. Because at what point, Brady? I think this is the question to ask. We'll put you in the situation to where you're the Royals manager, and you're filling out this lineup card. And I get it. We're sports talk radio hosts, and we're going to say Jack Caglione because that's the popular thing to say, and it's the right thing to say as well. But how do you make this work in a world where you have data in front of you that says that these three guys are probably going to be better against lefties than he is, but you have a guy like that? Where do you let the seesaw in your mind go?
Oh, I say put him in. Get him to get those reps in. Most importantly, I think that's the thing that Jacob was talking about last Friday that was so frustrating for him, was that they were taking this approach in April when things were like really, really bad, right? Like, it's kind of like, well, what situation are you waiting for? Because as bad as things were in April, that seems like even more of a reason to try and get them going, to get those reps in against lefties and get that experience. So now's the time. I think it actually makes it worse that this approach was taken when they just had 12 games that they won so far. And you're just trying to get something to work, something to happen. I think if you want to try and experiment with anything to get anybody going, you do that with Cags.
Yep.
That's the guy.
It makes
That's
sense.
power.
We don't have to worry about it tonight. We don't think there's a righty on the mound. So unless we're going to get radical by any means, we'll have a righty on the mound. So we should see him in there this afternoon. I'm trying to pull it up. I don't even remember who is the probables. I believe it's Lugo Day. Yeah, Seth Lugo versus Slade Sassoni. That's a baseball name if I've ever heard one. Right-handed pitcher, should see Cags. Day baseball, as I said, you can catch it on KFH pregame coverage starting at 12:30 to listen to Denny and the gang. The other headline last night of the game that maybe is the bigger deal than the two idiots talking about making lineups that aren't qualified to talk about that. Cole Ragans leaves early in this one in the third inning. He had some, let me give you the verbatim. I believe it was left elbow and forearm tightness, which, I don't know how much you know about throwing baseballs, Brady, but pretty significant part of your arm if you want to try to throw them. Left tricep and elbow soreness. That's what it is. So this comes after, the Tarek Skubal news where he's going to be out for 3 months because of all this, because of the loose bodies in his elbow. We hope that is not what the case is for Cole Ragans, obviously. I saw last night it was taken out of an abundance of caution, I believe. Let me tell you what Q said about it. He had 58 pitches. They pulled him. He left. Here's from Annie Rogers. She said that after the game, he talked. He said he felt soreness and tightness in the bottom of his tricep and back of his elbow during the third inning. That is bad. He's been through 2 Tommy John surgeries. He had one as a younger player, and that's why it took him so long to get to the bigs. Then I believe he had one in the big leagues too. I'm not completely sure about that, but I know he's had 2. He said, I've been through the elbow stuff. I know it's not what I've been through before. So he doesn't think it's as bad as that feelings that he's had. But he is undergoing further evaluation as of today. Matt Quattraro after the game saying that it was a no-brainer to take him out of the game, I believe, is that, if you're feeling something like that, then you need to, it's not worth risking anything. So we'll see what happens. Brady, I bring all this up. This is why it is such a big deal, is that since Cole Ragans has been with the Royals, here is the history. He got over in 2023 as part of the Aroldis Chapman trade. Then in 2020, looks like 2024 was the full healthy year, and that was the year they made the playoffs. Everything was great, dandy. 2025, though, right off the bat, he had some groin tightness, missed a couple games, missed 9 games because of that. This is 9 games, not 9 starts, 9 games. Comes back in May, then has a groin strain, missed 15 games because of his groin strain, then gets back, and then 6 days later has a rotator cuff strain. Then he went on the 15-day IL, then got transferred to the 60-day IL like a few days later, and then he missed 87 games because of it and was shut down for the rest of the season. Then we come back to 2026, and right away, first week, thumb injury, missed 3 games because of it. Then yesterday, elbow tightness, which is the hold your butts. What is it going to be kind of injury? And we're here again. It's scary. He's the cornerstone of the Royals pitching staff. And if this is going to keep going on, whenever he's got it, he is really good. And he's one of the best pitchers in the Central, one of the best pitchers in the American League. He's an all-star. He's got the stuff for it. But when he's not there, and even when he's pitching when it's not there, we've seen games where he's kind of gotten rocked and he, maybe rushed back and things of that sort. So you have to have him healthy. So if you're the Royals right now in May, and if this is going to be something, whether it be the Tejay or the something else, you got to be careful here, because if you rush him back, you're going to run that risk as well. So to loop it into everything that we're talking about, with the Royals' bad start that they've had, they're going to have to now be faced with a crux, if this is something, of when do we need to bring him back into the rotation? What does that look like for us? Because as we've seen, Noah Cameron hasn't been as advertised as he was last year. So they really got 4 good starters. If you lose Ragans, you're down to 3. What does that mean for the Royals as you're trying to dig out of a hole, Brady? It feels like, I said bated breath for the show, which was, joking around, but the Royals have bated breath waiting for these results, because it could determine the outcome of their season, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. It really just shows just how crucial that start was, because it took away a lot of wiggle room for a lot of things, because, they're playing catch up, even though right now I looked at the updated wild card standings, even though it's like, early May, but they're now a half game back out of the wild card spot. So, everything's right there. But boy, if they were just a game or two or just at 500, in April, like, they just took away a lot of wiggle room that you need when injuries happen, so you can kind of readjust and give yourself that space. And yeah, I think the pressure's on, Walker, Bubic, those guys, the pressure's going to be on, especially depending on this news. And, you read the same quote from him that I was looking at a little bit ago when he said, I know what I've been through, elbow stuff. I know it's not what I've been through before. And it's kind of like, there's 2 ways you can read that. On one hand, it's kind of like, well, okay, so good. It doesn't feel like it did when he's basically saying it's not a pain or discomfort that I remember going into Tommy John surgery. So that's a plus. But, he said that discomfort was nothing like what he experienced previously. So it's just another discomfort that this time he doesn't know what this one's like. So that, although to me, that's going kind of like, oh no, all the injuries this guy's went through. Now here's one's like, oh, this discomfort is bad, and I don't remember this. What could this be now? So it's gonna be interesting to see what those are. When are those results supposed to come out? Is that today, or is that like tomorrow?
They'll probably do some before the game, I'd imagine. We'll have it by game time today and kind of see if there's any ligament issues or things of those sorts. Brady, I don't know. I'm telling you, as a guy who, obviously not to the degree where I'm throwing 98 consistent like Cole Ragans is, but playing catch with a hurt elbow, it is unlike anything else. I cannot imagine what that feeling is of Tommy John when you just hear the pop and you're like, oh, I can't feel my fingers anymore. So, praying it's not that for Cole Ragans. We hope we're fine. Today's Seth Lugo. He's been really good of going deep into games, which they need after they had to go to their bullpen in the third yesterday. Got a debut yesterday. Eric, I got to say it right. Eric Sarantola made his debut last night. 1 inning out of the pen for him. Limited the damage. He did pretty well. 2 strikeouts in his major league debut. They couldn't get it done, though. Royals fall again today. 1 p.m. start is where we keep this thing going. Brady, baseball tonight. Maybe we'll get into this later in the show, but I'll bring it up with the couple minutes we have left here. We got Banana Ball in Wichita today. Going down at Equity Bank Park. The Loco Beach Coconuts and the firefighters are here. I'm excited. I'm going to be there doing some coverage for 12 News. And I know that this, it's divisive. People have opinions because they dance and they wear sleeveless shirts. And I guarantee I'm going to say this. This is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this for 2 minutes. We're going to leave the break open to let everybody log into their YouTube accounts or their Facebooks or whatever, what have you. Leave some comments, because I guarantee as we talk about the Banana Ball, Savannah Bananas, what have you not, we're going to get a comment about how it's ruining the game. It's ruining the game of baseball, and people hate it. And people's moms text them and say, hey, you want to go to the Banana Ball game? I got us tickets. And it's like, no, Mom, get lost. It's not cool. There's people out there.
Not
Again,
my
and there's
house.
people. There's people in Wichita about it. You and I, give them the segue here, the tease, because we'll talk about it after this. But you're pro banana ball. You're not anti banana ball, I guess is the right way to say it.
Right. Yeah, I'm not anti. I mean, it is what it is. An overused phrase, but it is what it is. I mean, it's fun. You and I were talking about it in the newsroom the other day that, if we're cool with the Harlem Globetrotters, we should be okay with banana ball. It's basically the same principle. It's entertainment. Bring your family sort of thing. At the end of the day, it's just all about fun. The idea is fun and entertainment, and that's fine. There's worse things people can do.
It's true. There's worse thing. Yeah. And in a world, people sometimes laughter is okay. People, it's okay. Sometimes just
it's okay.
Just take a step back and watch it. Maybe you'll. Yeah. I'm not saying you need to download the Banana Ball app and track your favorite players or anything like that. But it's okay. It's okay to say it's okay. It's okay to be okay. We'll get into that.
I hear laughter is the best medicine.
That's right. We'll get into that. This is a fun conversation to talk about banana ball versus everybody else. I got whatever it is. Tonight they got first pitch at Equity Bank Park.
Banana ball versus the world.
That's right. They got Equity Bank Park tonight. They'll be out there. We'll talk about that coming up after the break.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on the Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Got all day.
869-1240.
Time to get busy.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
Welcome back in. Sports Daily, Thursday morning. Tejay, Cleland, Brady, Bauman with you. The show powered by Prairie Fire Coffee. We've got our Prairie Fire Coffee brewing this morning. I don't know if you need Prairie Fire Coffee if you've got tickets to Equity Bank Park tonight because you're so fired up about Banana Ball. How about that for a tease? You need you into banana? How about some fruit talk? You into bananas, Brady? You seem like a banana guy.
I don't know how to take that, but yes. I have one typically right before I go to the gym in the car.
Oh yeah,
get that potassium.
Get it
potassium.
Going. Get the K on the periodic table.
That's right.
All right, so let's talk Banana Ball. Tonight, it's coming to Equity Bank Park. This is perfect timing as, I don't know how this worked out like this. I get onto the X machine, Twitter, and go to the trending page, and the top one on there says Banana Ball clip divides baseball fans. So this is a nationwide thing as Banana Ball comes to Wichita this evening. I'm not sure how much you know about Banana Ball rules, but I'll tell you about the clip. They have a rule to where if you walk, you get to just run until all 9 players touch the ball. So there was a video that somebody they got greedy and a guy walked and tried to steal all the bases. He tried to steal home and run around the entire way because all players have to touch the ball. It's a weird rule. The rules, to be fair, they're interesting sometimes. I don't think this one is that bad. Like of all the things to complain about, this guy was trying to score from first on a walk. Of all the things to complain about Banana Ball, this one isn't that insane. It's kind of an interesting rule. Anyways, this is getting people all over the place. The baseball purists are just don't even know what's going on. It boils their blood. Is the Banana Ball share of the video and said absolutely perfect ball 4 sprint defense from the boys in pink. So you get where we're going to here. People across the country. And it has been for a couple of years, have been very much of like, who's wasting their time going to see this? Like, what are we doing here? And this just, it makes me mad. Like, it makes me mad at what they're doing to the game of baseball. You and I are in the same thing here, is that it's not baseball. And that's the thing you have to tell yourself. And that's the people that, aren't firing off tweets about how much they hate it. That's how, their brains think. I have to imagine is that like, you may not like it. It may not be your cup of tea. Like at the end of the day, it's kind of just theater, but it's not baseball. So don't let it make your mind think that it's baseball. Like if you're fine with the Harlem Globetrotters, like we said, like whatever, what's your big deal about the bananas? It's the same thing. It's the Harlem Globetrotters. It's just the fact that the Harlem Globetrotters have been around for a century, and everybody's seen the shtick by now, and that's why they aren't selling out Kyle Field at Texas A&M to get people in to go watch their games. It's the taking over the country, and I understand that it absolutely is. And I get why it is. There's never been anything like this in the game of baseball. But you just have to you just need to take a deep breath and tell yourself that this is not going to replace baseball. These rules are never going to replace baseball, Brady.
No. Although that is an interesting rule with everybody having to. So basically, I assume the idea is the ball has to make the rounds to everybody, and if it gets to all 9 players before you reach home, you can stop at the base.
All nine players have to touch the ball, and then it's alive. So you can run as long as you want, but if you're caught, if you get caught between first and second, and the 9th guy touches the ball, then you're getting in a pickle and you'll be out. But you can just take first like a normal walk. That's the rule. So maybe we need to do banana ball rules.
Maybe just have it on a poster or something behind you. It's just one of those things. Are you a South Park guy? Did you ever watch much South Park, TJ?
Yes. I indulge in the South Park.
Okay, so you're familiar with the WWE episode. It's one of their newer within the past 5-10 years, I guess, but where they had the high school wrestling coach, and they're like playing wrestling, but they're doing the whole WWE thing of just like having a mic in the center ring and just being way over the top, and he's just like, oh, that's not wrestling, and all that sort of stuff. I feel like anybody who's like actually, which again, out of all the things going on in the world to be upset about, this is what you're choosing to be upset about is banana ball. Whatever, have your concerns, but I wouldn't get that fired up. Like I couldn't imagine somebody actually being honestly angry.
Yeah, they are.
Banana ball.
That's
a little absurd to me.
There is people. I think that what we'll do this morning is we're going to try to talk you back off the ledge because it's not that deep. But like here, I'll give you the banana ball rules before we get into that though. Here you go. Rule number 1: if you win the inning, you get a point. And so it doesn't go based on a normal baseball game of who has the most runs. Every inning ends in a walk-off by these rules. So whoever gets the majority of points of innings won. And then sometimes there's like double point. With that gets into the weeds. I have no idea what that's about. Number 2 is there's a 2-hour time limit, which is kind of weird, but I get it. Baseball takes a long time sometimes. There's a lot of kids at your games. Get them home. They can go to bed. No stepping out of the box. If they step out of the box, it's immediately a strike. You got to stay in. No bunting. Bunting says from their website, bunting sucks. If a hitter bunts, they are ejected from the game immediately. You can't bunt. Batters can steal first base. So at any point of an at bat, a hitter can just take off and run to first with the pitch, and you can throw them out at first, but you can steal first base if you so wish. If you don't think you can get a hit, I guess. No walks allowed, which is the one I'm talking about. If you throw ball 4, it becomes a sprint. The hitter will take off running while every defensive player on the field must touch the ball before it becomes live. The hitter can advance to as many bases as they want. The ball does not have to touch the catcher or the pitcher. So all 7, I guess, have to touch the ball. No mound visits are allowed. This is the most wacky one. I don't know if you know about this one, Brady. If a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out.
I have heard that one. Yeah.
Which is actually kind of funny. I like that. And then, there's a showdown tiebreaker, which is like an extra innings rule, so on and so forth. The banana ball challenge rule. Each team's allowed a challenge. The golden batter. One time a game, a team may send any hitter in the lineup to bat in any spot. Which this one actually has been floated around of being a thing in the MLB that they were like, well, maybe they were into something there, which is an interesting rule, but I don't think that's ever going to happen either. So those are the banana ball rules. And we sit here and we laugh about them. That tells you this is not going to change baseball. I'll be shocked if in 10 years MLB is like, we like this. We like the stealing first base thing. We're gonna put that one in. I'll be enamored. Color me shocked. Like there's just no way that's happening in the game of baseball. And that's the point. That's why you're supposed to like this, is that
right.
Yeah, it's not baseball. That's the whole point of it, is that it's not baseball. So you just train your mind differently here and say, like, it's a concert. It's theater. You're going to watch it. I mean, you're basically going to watch like a children's Broadway, like it's like going to watch, Tickle Me Elmo at Century 2. So, you know what I mean? Like something of that nature. So I agree. And I will say this. So let me back off my pedestal here and telling everybody how they should feel about this. Because the one thing to me that does make me, clench my teeth about it a little bit is that, and this is the old man screaming at cloud in me coming out here, which I do from time to time, is that it's a little weird that it's not weird, but it makes me clench my teeth a little bit that, there's little kids out there that are going to their 10U baseball tournaments on the weekends with their banana ball bats and banana ball inspired gloves and things like that. And that's fine. It's supposed to be fun and their logos are cool. And I like all that stuff, but man, there's kids out there that know the shortstop for the Bananas name and they don't know who Mike Trout is. And that to me is like, okay, hold on. I think we're starting to lose the plot a little bit on that. That's the only thing to me that makes it feel like a bit of a
gone
concern.
Too far.
But if you're an adult, who cares? But at the end of the day, if you're an adult, this is what I'll say. If you're an adult that feels strongly about this, you know what you can do about it is you turn the MLB on for your kid and say, "Kids, this is Isaac Collins."
TJ,
go ahead, Max.
So you're upset about these rules, but yet you like the invisible man on second in extra innings. That's baseball. Okay.
I mean, that's more baseball than random wacky you can steal first base.
It's no different. Man on second. No.
I like that. But let me be clear. I like these rules of banana. Like, what are you saying? I don't think that these rules are MLB rules, but you're saying I get what you're saying. That but I'm okay with the man on second. I think it's fine. I don't think the man on second's that big of a deal. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I kind of wish it happened later in the game than just the 10th inning because it's so easy to score. But anyways, that's a whole other pedestal. Me and Max will go back and forth on that, I'm sure. Brady, the floor is yours. What's your thoughts?
It's fun. It's like, plus, when you think of the other main sports, right? When you think of basketball, you think of football, there are other versions. And, we mentioned Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, there's a lot, actually, that the NFL got out of the XFL when that came out. There are a lot of improvements that they borrowed from the XFL, whether it's camera stuff, the camera on wire that goes above. I think the XFL did that first. There's a lot of things that other leagues do, whether it's the UFL too. I mean, there's things that the NFL has borrowed. What's that?
The kickoff zone.
Yeah,
exactly. So there's things that are borrowed that I think improve the game overall sometimes.
But I'll say this is that I don't think the difference is that this is supposed to be like funny. Like the XFL is supposed to be like, not started as this, but now it's like a developmental football league, basically. So the thing is, and I get why you want to be upset about this, is that like you can't be the people that make it too big, and there probably are people that do this, and that's what lets people kind of feel so strongly about this is that they're like no, I don't watch the Royals. I'm into banana ball. I'm sure kids say that. I'm sure adults aren't saying that, but like
I watch real baseball.
Well, they don't play the game right way. They treat like
the theatrical numbers.
The college NFL argument. It's like they need to play for pride. Anyways,
right.
So that's my only thing about this is that people need to not make it bigger than what it is, and I get it. Like I've seen complaints from college baseball fans is that it's easier to watch banana ball on TV than it is to watch the SEC, which is like, okay, well, I feel like we may be doing too much.
Well, that's kind of the point. Right?
There's a banana ball like tab on ESPN and they things of that sorts, and so I think that there's people that are overshooting it a bit of what it needs to be, but I don't think that you'd need to be like, this is ruining baseball. It's the worst thing in the world that ever could have happened to baseball, because that's overshooting it from the other side.
Right. Plus, you got to think about the future of the game, and the whole idea of banana ball is bringing the family, bringing the kids over, and whichever way you're introducing kids to baseball in some form. I don't see that as a bad thing, especially when you're really fighting for kids' attention. And when you think about all the things kids can have interest in these days and being locked in on their phone and all that sort of stuff, any way you can introduce kids to some live baseball of some form, that could inspire some little kid to be like, this is pretty fun. I want to try and play a lot of baseball.
It's true.
And
you know what happens? Maybe it's a gateway. Maybe it's let's go watch the Bananas.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, this is fun. And they're like, okay, now we're gonna go watch the Royals. This is Bobby Witt Jr., son. Write that down. This is Bobby Witt Jr. In 20 years, you're gonna absolutely adore him when he retires. So it's interesting.
It's interesting stuff.
I can't wait to go watch it. I have literally no expectations in the slightest. I don't even know what I'm walking into when I walk into that stadium tonight. I honestly, I still don't really know how the rules work. I don't know how to like cover a game. I'm just going to go watch it. We're going to see what happens. Talk to a couple 7-year-olds, I'm sure. They're going to be screaming their heads off. So Jacob loves banana ball, by the way.
Really?
It's an interesting
and he's
stuff.
About baseball purist as it gets. So.
It's wild, the people that love it and the people that hate it. You'd be surprised. All right, we got another hour of Sports Daily coming up. Coming after the break, we'll pull up some headlines. We'll do headlines Brady may have missed. Coming up next on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
What kind of a show are we putting on here today? We're putting on Sports Daily on 97.5 KFH. Tejay, Cleland, Brady, Bauman. Brady, I got to say, and this is going to hurt Max's feelings, he plays all these out. I mean, I may know one of every 10 reference that we've got. What is that from this morning? I have literally no idea. And Max is probably like rolling over in the studio right now about all these references. I got the Family Guy one the other day when it was Dingo and the Baby. I got that one.
Oh, yeah,
that was pretty good. But the rest, I mean, half of them, Max, I'm like, what was that? What was that movie? What is that show? I have no idea. Have you been recognizing yours you've heard?
Here and there, but I was just outside. I was refilling my coffee, actually, so I might have missed some of it, and I think it might have broke up just a little bit, so I didn't catch all of it. But every now and then, there's a few where I'm like, oh, that's a little trip down memory lane right there.
Yeah, Max, don't get your feelings too hurt. I'm still like legally a child, kind of how young I am, so yeah. I don't get much of your references. I'm sorry, old man Max Power. Tejay, Cleland, Brady, Bauman in with you. We got another hour of Sports Daily. We're going to do a little bit of headlines here. Let's talk a little more of the Shocker golf conversation. Let's get into some K-State talk. We're going to have Tim Fitzgerald in, our K-State insider, at the end of this hour. We'll talk a little bit of K-State uniforms with you as well, as that's starting to draw some headlines across the X machine and beyond. A lot of things to get into, but Jacob's not here. It sounds like while I was gone, headlines just didn't happen, which I was really hoping that, like, Jacob was going to bring headlines to Brady and Paul Savage to see what that looked like. So we're going to do it today, though, because Jacob's not here and we're not going to follow his arbitrary rules. Max, can you play the intro for headlines?
All right, Sports Daily fans, let's take you to the sports headlines Jacob probably didn't see.
The sports headlines that Brady probably didn't see. And let me tell you, Brady is worse at this game off of the radio. Brady is my favorite person to say, I could bring up something from a week ago, and Brady would be like, "What? No, what? No way!" I'm like, I don't know what you do in your spare time. I'm shocked that Brady even has internet at his home, with the way that he acts about the things that I tell him, how he's so shocked about headlines that he's missed. So I could pull out something from 2025, I'm sure, and catch Brady on some of these. But I'm not going to do that. I've only got a couple because one of them I know that we're going to discuss. First of all, let's start. I'll start with this one. Are you aware of John Pork, Brady?
John Pork?
John Pork.
What a great name. No.
Okay, well,
I'm familiar with Porkins off Star Wars.
Yeah, so it's a fake name. It's not a real person. Okay. This is a story on the KC Star that made its way around. It's definitely less cool of a headline now that the Royals lost and the losing streak's over. But there was a guy, he's famous on TikTok, and he makes fake baseball cards. and like just graphic designs, random things on the baseball cards. His name's Alex Bro, it sounds like, I guess, or Bro, something like that. But he makes these fake baseball cards, and he shared the backstory on the radio up in Kansas City, it looks like. He made a fake baseball card of John Pork, which is a pig wearing a Royals jersey at the K. And he brought it to the game and showed the bullpen and said, look at this card. I make these. And he dropped it in, and I believe it was Alex Lang picked it up and showed it to the other pitchers. And they're like, this is cool. This is cool. And they taped it to the bullpen and immediately won 5 games in a row. So, or something of that nature, like 8 of 9 or something like that, whatever it was. And so everybody talks about how John Pork saved the Royals by going up in the bullpen. And now everybody is going crazy about John Pork. So if this keeps up and they actually make the playoffs, they may sell like John Pork Royals jerseys.
I will buy that.
Cards. It's pretty funny. They're pretty funny cards too. I've seen him. He makes them for like all the teams. But John Pork, it's just a pig wearing a Royals hat and at the K. So something to monitor if they win today. Give a point up to Mr. Pork. It's because
that's something to look out for at the next card show excursion.
In Kansas City, I'm
John
sure.
Pork cards.
I'm sure in Kansas City, there's going to be John Porks, like one of one John Porks been flipped around. So I know Brady the card guy. So, all right. Next Royals headline. Kind of dealing with pork, more so chicken in this one. Hawaiian Bros. Have you heard the headlines about the Royals and Hawaiian Bros, Brady?
Hawaiian Bros like the rolls? Like the Hawaiian rolls?
No, not the Hawaiian rolls. Hawaiian Bros, the restaurant. There's one in Wichita. You never had it?
Oh, God. No, I haven't.
Okay, well, there's one in Wichita. It's a chain. I'm telling you guys, I could say anything on this thing, and you won't know what I'm talking about. Hawaiian Bros is a chain restaurant. They sell like chicken and rice. It's kind of like Chinese food, but like Hawaiian, like macaroni salad, the whole 9 yards. Really good. I love Hawaiian Bros. There's one on Greenwich. Free ad. Thanks, Hawaiian Bros. Call Tommy Castro and buy an ad for that. Anyways, in Kansas City, they did a promotion with the Kansas City Royals this year called Plates for Plates. Every time the Royals won 6 runs, or every time the Royals scored 6 runs, you could get a free Hawaiian Bros lunch the next day, free of charge. That was the promo. In any Kansas City location, you could go get it. And they didn't make it to say that you had to have a ticket stub or show that you were at the game. It's literally just, if they score 6 runs, you get free lunch the next day. And people were like, that's kind of cool. And then like some people started doing it, and then it started to get kind of popular. And then the Royals have been like one of the best offenses in baseball over the last like 10 days, basically. And it's insane. Like the lines are out the doors at these Hawaiian Bros for people to go get free lunch. Because it's literally, you just walk in, they just give it to you. Like you don't even like have to tap your card. It's free of charge if you don't get anything else. Wow. Free plate lunch. I'm pretty sure at least. So everybody's like, this is incredible. This is awesome. And so it got a lot of discourse going about like how much money is Hawaiian Bros losing because of this? Right. Or is it good? Because I think it was you have to get the loyalty app to be able to get it. And so they're getting all these subscriptions and logins where they'll get, return customers. And that's the whole, we've taken marketing classes. You know how this works. But if they're giving out this much free food, they've got to be in the red a little bit because of this, you'd think. I don't know. So yesterday before the game, Hawaiian Bros had to share a press release that says an open letter to our guests, Royals members, rewards members, and Royals fans. Well, ... This got a little out of hand. When we launched Plates for Plates with the Royals, we hope for some fun, a little buzz, and a few free plates along the way. Safe to say, you guys took it from there. You packed our restaurants, lit it up on social media, and turned it into something way bigger than a promotion. And honestly, we've loved every second of it. But man, it's been wild. Our restaurant teams have been absolutely crushed in the best way, working around the clock, keeping up with the response, the lines, and the wave after wave of hungry Royals fans showing up. So to keep Plates for Plates sustainable, exciting, and alive for the long haul, they're making an adjustment beginning immediately when the Royals plate 6 or more runs at home. Hawaiian Bros Rewards members will unlock a free lunch with the purchase of a lunch the next day. It's now BOGO, no longer free. Not as cool, still not bad. If you got 2 people to go with, you can get one of the free lunches. So, but they couldn't sustain it honestly, because we can let's just talk about marketing here. Like they got what they want. Maybe this was the plan all along, because probably, I guarantee, there's thousands of people that never had Hawaiian Bros that went and got free lunch because of this.
We're talking about it.
So maybe this was the plan all along, was to pull the rug out in May, a month into the season. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was sustainable because they were getting so many app logins to do all this stuff. But they're not lying. I cannot imagine what it's like to work at Hawaiian Bros right now. That's got to be just absolute hell if you work at Hawaiian Bros in Kansas City.
That's something that's like, you wonder if that was really thought through, or maybe there was that stipulation that
I want to know who the chap is that told him 6 runs is the number, because that doesn't feel that absurd to get to. Like that, there's definitely more arbitrary stats.
Yeah, ye of little faith. Like, we'll be fine. We'll set it at 6. We'll be all right.
Could you imagine them in early April when they were the worst team in baseball? It's like, we're not going to lose a dime on this thing. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're good.
We may give like 3 or 4 plates out the whole year. Yeah, the deal is now gone. Other headline, couple minutes we have left here, which we can carry this over to the next segment. We don't want to dig too far into the weeds because we don't want to be tabloids here, but the Mike Vrabel situation has continued on, and there's more headlines that came out yesterday about boats and such, and more Rossini things, and it's just a weird deal. Yeah, it's a weird deal all around. We're not going to dig into the character of these people. Whatever. We're not going to do all that. We're not going to do it on the show. But now, Brady, it has now become a big enough deal where it's national headlines of saying, is Mike Vrabel going to coach the Patriots next? Like how bad does it need to get for that to happen? Because we've never seen anything along the lines of like, things like this, of like, infidelity, I guess is the word to say, that is going to cause a coach not to coach. Like, we've seen player scandals and off the field things, and we've seen, cheating violations of actual cheating, like football cheating violations of that have held, coaches away because of suspensions and things like that. But I've never seen anything like this. Have you?
No, I mean, the only thing I can think of that's somewhat similar as far as being like tabloid bother is, last year with Belichick and his way younger girlfriend, whose name's escaping me somehow right now, but Jordan, that's right. Jordan. Yes. But he's out of the NFL now, and they're in a relationship. There's nothing really scandalous about that.
Exactly. Like there's, it's not good because I don't think it would ever be any like repercussions. The league's not going to suspend him because of this, but it's a matter of like every press conference I'm going to have to do for the foreseeable future is going to have to deal with this. So does he want to deal with it? That's a question. We'll talk about this. This is interesting stuff because we've got 2 Patriots guys on the shows here. We may need to mute Max's mic. I'm kind of scared about that, but we're going to take a break.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back in. Sports Daily. Tejay, Cleland, Brady, Bauman, Jacob Albrocht out slinging hand-me-downs in a garage sale. You haven't heard him talk about it. He said it. I think he averaged about 3 mentions per show of his garage sale, but he's going strong. I don't even know when they started at this thing, but it sounds.
I mean, any garage sale I remember always starts at like 5:30 in the morning or something like that.
He's probably out. He's probably already out kicking it. Whopping 48 degrees out right now, according to my phone. So that is
at least it's sunny and not raining.
Not Chamber of Commerce weather by any means. I don't know how many people are.
No.
I don't know how many people are out on a Thursday morning when it's 48 degrees outside. It's like, oh, honey, you got to see these hand-me-downs. We got to get out here. Anyways, sidebar. Let's get back to the conversation we were just having before the break. Mike Vrabel, more headlines coming out about him and Deanna Rossini. which has just been, tabloid sports page's dream. That just content just keeps plugging out. Like I said, we're not going to sit here and call anybody anything, but now it's become a headline of saying that, is it a distraction? Like now it's everybody's talking about it. And every national show, you can't turn on a football show without seeing this headline pop up, especially as more and more comes out. It felt like, I read an article yesterday that it felt like after everything that we've seen come out through this whole, scandal so far, is that like, man, if there's one more thing that comes out that's worse than this, then that may be it. And then this one comes out yesterday, and it may be one of the worst pieces of it that we've seen potentially. I don't know. Make your own conclusions, whatever. But it's another headline, and we're talking about it. And now there's question marks about, is it an off-the-field issue? Drake May talked about it yesterday. He was at the Truist Championship in Charlotte. He said that he doesn't believe it is one. He thinks that football is football, and they'll figure it out, or it'll be fine. For Mike Vrabel, though, how much of this does he want to do? Does he want – Mike Vrabel hasn't stood up at a press conference podium since all this stuff has happened. Does he want to do that? Like, is he willing to be able to do that? And this isn't going to be a one-time thing. It's going to be a multiple-time thing. It's a major story across national sports media now, and there is a legitimate question mark that if he will coach the Patriots next year, which is insane to think about, Brady. As we just talked about before the break, we've never seen anything like this of a coach not coaching because of something like that, at least in my memory of something like that. What is your thoughts if, it feels like it's Vrabel's decision is the biggest thing here. This isn't, it won't be the Patriots' decision or the NFL's decision. I wouldn't think. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't think anything's going to happen unless something really, really crazy comes out. But considering what has been, I guess, looked past in the NFL over the years, especially when it comes to players. I mean, you got players that are involved in domestic violence issues, and they may be suspended. But
didn't get this much print when he killed his wife.
What was that? Who?
Ray Caruth didn't get this much run.
Yeah, the Panthers wide receiver. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So worse things have happened, and I mean, even with the Patriots organization and Robert Kraft, remember the headlines he made not too long ago with the whole Florida massage parlor stuff. So, what from what ground is he standing on saying I'm going to make a morality decision?
Exactly. It won't be. It feels like that's the biggest thing that I was going to bring up is that, and again, we're not casting stones by any means here, but in a league where things have been like literal legal issues that have been like listed in print in records that people are able to get second chances on, player wise, especially that we're talking about, that people are able to look past that kind of thing. Like there's not, and I'd be pretty shocked if like the NFL is going to step in and do something about that as well. Like at the end of the day, like it's weird middle ground right now. Like there's fine print rules that say like you can't do this, like you can't get arrested for one, and you're gonna serve a suspension. There's a board that figures out those kind of things. Like there's nowhere that says like you can't do what this is. And it's weird, and it makes eyebrow raising and judgments and stones cast and everything like that. Does it taint his image? Absolutely it does. Like, because that's a whole other thing, is that when you're in the print as much as you are about this stuff, if this happened, while he was post-fired from the Titans, would he have gotten the Patriots job? Probably not. Like, but now you're a coach that just went to the Super Bowl and that things as well. So like my point here that I'm making is that it's not going to change anything unless Vrabel wants it to. If he is, man enough to sit there and answer questions about it and try to limit the fact that it is a distraction, then he can do that. And then again, I mean, I don't think that it will be, like, as to your point, but if the Patriots want to say like, listen, man, like we had all this thing going for us. Like we were in the Super Bowl. We've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like we've got something brewing and we feel like we're in a really good spot, and we just can't be in the news so much about this thing. Like, then they may want to do that. I don't think that they will, based on precedent like you're talking about, but that'd be the other part of this as well. But it's just so interesting. But I don't think that like we've talked about this. This is maybe what I want to say, is that like you aren't breaking any rules, but you're not doing the right thing. And whenever you're somebody of that stature, when you're somebody of that stature, that in turn kind of becomes a gray area rule, right?
Because what I've heard from some folks, because again, this isn't nothing. There's no criminal activity here. These are not criminal headlines. And some folks I've talked to have told me, and they're not even necessarily Patriots fans, but they're like, I mean, these are personal relation things. I mean, what do I care what he does with his personal life? And the same with the reporter as well. But I said, I mean, yes, I get that. You know, there is no criminal headlines here. There's no criminal standing to fire him or anything like that. But the thing is, when you're an NFL head coach, you are, especially during the offseason, you're visiting schools, you're doing all this community work, you're doing all this goodwill stuff. And Vrabel has always been priding himself on, and his reputation has been like, this is a good man, does things the right way. Players respect him so much. And Vrabel kind of goes on that, you know, this kind of disciplined but fun approach of doing things the right way. You're going to schools, you're talking to kids about living life the right way. That's where it's a bad look, because you're expected to make those appearances. And when you're in the headlines for stuff like this, and he has addressed this at the podium, actually. And I think that's, like early, probably about a month ago when all this.
Yeah, he probably did draft talk. Yeah, you're right.
Right, because that's where I think things kind of escalated a little bit, because before he was saying to maybe writers and stuff like that, like, oh, you know, there's really nothing to this, blah, blah, blah. And then enough comes out. Then he says in that press conference not too long before the draft, that's when he said, you know, I've had some tough conversations with my family. And that's where things kind of turn and be like, oh, so it seems like these allegations are legitimate. And this isn't just, back page hearsay, gossip type of stuff. Something is really going on. He is acknowledging it in a very serious way. And then he, takes a step away from the team during the draft and goes to a counseling session or something like that. So, yeah, that kind of legitimized everything and made it more serious. And we were like, oh, okay, this isn't something that's just going to blow over before the draft and we forget about it. And going back to your point earlier, TJ, I think just like everything in the NFL, and I guess you can say in life, as long as the Patriots keep winning, they start out the season, 5-1, 6-0 or something like that. That's what people are going to not be talking about this. They'll be talking about the season and, back to that sort of normal NFL talk. But if they're losing, if it's a struggle, then that's where everybody's going to be like, oh, it was a distraction.
It's true. Yeah. At this point, it's only a distraction if it becomes a distraction, basically. I think that's the best way to think about it. Again, we're not defending anything that he did. Cast your stones where you wish, but we're trying to be, bipartisan here, stepping back away from it, just talking about the implications of what it means for the team. It's an interesting story at the least, something to monitor. It's a weird offseason in New England. A lot of things are going on.
And I think a lot of his players, like, you mentioned Drake May spoke about it, and I saw a headline a quote where Drake May's like, Mike Vrabel is a great human being, has my full support, blah, blah, blah. And, honestly, that tracks, because if you remember during the season last year, going into the playoffs, when Stephon Diggs made headlines and, he was going to court and all those sort of things, Vrabel and the Patriots were right behind him. And then, last week or 2 weeks ago, Stephon Diggs was cleared of all that, actually. Like, it went through the court process, and none of those charges were actually stuck, and the judge ruled in Stephon Diggs' favor. So I think that's another thing with the Patriots organization is that, Vrabel is behind his guys, and he was behind Stephon Diggs when that was probably a tough time to be behind him when those sort of allegations were coming out, and the judge rules in Stephon Diggs' favor. So I think that's another thing for Patriots players to be like, Vrabel has our backs. He had Stephon's back during that when he easily could have, distanced himself from all that. So during this time, we got to back our coach. He backed us. So I think when it comes to the organization, I think things remain tight. And I think that's what Drake May's words yesterday kind of showed. As far as the organization is concerned, seems like everybody's behind each other and on the same page. But again, if it's a struggle next season, and there's that Super Bowl loss sort of hangover that happens with teams that lose the Super Bowl, and then that's where things kind of can get interesting when it comes to how much was all this distraction to the team. And
it's interesting stuff. We're losing Brady. He's getting a little choppy over there. But we'll keep moving
TJ?
here. We got you. We got you back. Sorry. We got a bit of a pause there. But interesting stuff. Headlines to follow for sure throughout this offseason to see what that means. Let's get back local here. The local headlines that are driving everything is the Wichita State golf programs have been shut down effective immediately as of Tuesday night. Kevin Saul had a press conference. We heard all that stuff yesterday. Brady did a little bit of follow-up reporting. Taylor Eldridge from the Eagle did a little bit of follow-up reporting about what Shocker Golf is saying about this. What does it mean for them? Brady, you spoke with a player that was on the team, literally was golfing a week ago, and now is no longer, I believe, excuse me, I don't know if the men and women play together. I assume they do. Excuse me if I'm wrong about that. But was literally golfing with the team, was on the team, and then all of a sudden Tuesday night, there's no longer a team. Just what was all that like for her as you learned about that?
Yeah, I talked with Kate Tilma, who's a Capon alum. And boy, if you really look into the history of Wichita golf, WSU golf, and Capon, there's a lot of connections there with Capon Mount Carmel.
She's related to Sam Stevens in some way down that golf lineage.
Johnny Stevens, who I believe is Sam Stevens' dad,
grandpa,
is her mom. Yeah, her mom is Kathy Stevens, her maiden name. And her mom was the coach of WSU golf, women's golf for a short period, or I don't know how long. She was there, but
intertwined.
She said that really the team, it was a surprise and shock to everybody. She said she first understood, or her and her teammates understood that something was up when they got an email that pertained to both the men and the women, and like a big meeting with everybody at once, and that was kind of odd. Right. That's not something that happens very often, to get everybody together at once. So they knew something was up, but they didn't know what. And she said, just devastating news. She said there were tears. She's graduating. She graduates this year. Her season's already. So she got in her season. This has not affected her at all. She got in her full time golfing at WSU, and she transferred from Kansas State. She was a year for the Wildcats before coming to the Shockers. And she said her big concerns, actually, when I talked to her from Minnesota. She's trying to qualify for the U.S. Open right now. And she told me that, her concerns are with a lot of her teammates, and, what do they do going forward? Because a lot of them still have leases, right? Yeah. And some have like agreements they basically signed on for next year, planning for next year. So they're trying to figure out, what do we do with that? And she mentioned something about the athletic department, maybe mentioning something about maybe trying to help with leases money-wise. But then, this whole thing's driven by money. So you're kind of thinking like, well,
it's
interesting. You don't have any extra money. So.
It's tough. It's obviously tough, and you have to weigh all the stuff. And I'm sure that Wichita State has thought about all those things that have gone into it. It's just wild to me, Brady. The biggest thing, and that, kind of confirms it as well, talking with Kate, is that you and I think everybody around Wichita, I think even people that are, closely follow the programs, that if you're not in those conversations, like we had no inklings that they were going to cut the golf program at all. Like, I think that it was, held under wraps. If this is something that, Kevin Saul said in his press conference, that this was kind of a, days and weeks, not months and months, like it was kind of just like, man, like we need to do something. And, it wasn't like they were sitting on it and pondering it and twiddling their thumbs. Like, it was kind of just like, well, if we're going to do it, we need to do it. And they went ahead and did it. So it's crazy how fast it goes. So other headlines around this, as I saw last night, that in Arkansas, they just cut the tennis program. I believe
I saw that.
I'm not sure if it's just the women's tennis program or if it's the men's as well. I don't know. I'm not sure how much they did. But I've seen that, there was headlines that I saw that there had already been like $5 million raised that were ready to try to reinstate the program. And it's just like, we will donate this money if you let us continue to have a women's tennis program. But the craziest part about it is that even if they did that, in 2 years, are we having the same conversation? That's the thing. Is that
that's a Band-Aid. It's 1 year fix.
It's the hard part about this, and that's what stinks so much. And it's such an interesting, concept about, people. It's not fair to shape it as that Wichita State was, shocked about, like, it's like, man, well, things are getting more expensive, and women's golf just isn't making any money, and men's golf isn't making any money. It's like, they've never made any money. They've never made money ever in the history of collegiate golf. Like, that's not a sport that sells tickets. Like, it's a sport
True of any school.
Exactly. Yeah. You could name the best of Oklahoma State golf, like Victor Holt or Max Holt or whatever, Victor Hovland, excuse me. Sam Stevens played, like, they're always insane. They're not selling tickets. Like, that's the thing, is that they travel for base. There's no home games. They basically travel everywhere. And they travel, all these people, and they're always flights, and it's an expensive way to do it in the grand scheme, as we talked about
right now
with Jacob yesterday, is that, it definitely has made it more expensive. And whenever you project it out, that's probably, a reason why decisions had to be made. But in the grand scheme, golf compared to softball, or some of these schools have gymnastics that carry, or track and field that carry all these extra athletes. Like, it's scary what it means for collegiate sports all across the country is what I'm getting at here. And so it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy stuff. Like, and golf is the sport that forever, we've had conversations in the Division II ranks about, like, man, like, we're in a deficit and, like, we got to do something. But golf's, there's only like 4 or 5 of them. Like, it's not the most expensive to manage around, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just a weird concept. Like, nobody's really in the wrong about all this stuff. I think that, like, Wichita State kind of had their backs against the wall, is that, like, they had to make a decision one way or another. And, they did it this way. I think that, you say it is everybody always thinks it's like, oh, there goes the money. It's going to the men's basketball program. And it's like, well, no, it's going to go to something else. So it's like, well, the reason that you're really tight on money is because we're paying people now. And so it's a whole rabbit hole to get down. It's a major headline is what we're telling you here, is that, this is all across the golf landscape. Virginia men's golf was tweeting about how much of a travesty this is. It's a big deal. It's not insignificant at all. So we'll come back. We'll talk to Tim Fitzgerald. We're going to talk a little bit of K-State stuff, a little bit of K-State basketball. We'll be right back here on a Thursday morning. It's Cleland and Bauman with you.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Daily is on KFH.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
It is another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH. It's Tejay, Cleland, Brady, Bauman in with Tim Fitzgerald. Fitz, we got another K-State honk in the house with us here. Brady Bauman, one of our newest co-hosts on the show. So, us non-K-State folk are getting outnumbered here. How you doing, Fitz?
I'm good. Brady, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, man. It's been a while.
I know. I'd lost track of you, and here you are on the Radidio in Wichita.
Crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy.
Here we go. I just pop up.
Last time you guys talked, there's probably a lot more hair on both heads, but here we are in 2026, and we're chatting on the radio. Tim Fitzgerald in with us today. Fitz, it's our first time that we've spoke since Casey Alexander spoke for the first time, basically, since he got hired, if I'm not mistaken about that. And he talked last Thursday afternoon, and we now know what he thinks about the roster. Fitz, I said earlier in the show, is that if you can guess what the rotation is going to be for K-State basketball, then you're a much smarter man than I, because I've got no idea.
Yeah, I get this question for our podcast, and for some reason I never pick it because I have no clue. I mean, this is going to be a really good case study because he's gone out and gotten players, brought them in through the portal that he believes have not even touched their upside. They've got a lot of unrealized space between now and the ceiling, and he thinks he can bring it out. That is the complete opposite of what we just saw, where The coaching staff was always trying to bring in guys at elite levels, and logic would tell you that would work, but it didn't. So I'm willing to, sit and watch how this develops, because I know this. The guy's won 20 games 10 years in a row. He's developed player after player. He's, brought players into Missouri Valley and lower levels that went on to play at very high levels. He's a developer, an X's and O's guy. And, like I keep saying, let's get out of the kitchen and let him cook and see what happens here, because it's hard to see. It really is. But he did this with a great deal of confidence and purpose. He did it quickly, not just because he wanted it over, but he knew exactly what and who he wanted and went out and got him.
So speaking else about what he said here is that another thing that stuck out to me is that how he's recruiting on a budget a little bit. Is there any merit to what we've seen? Well, there's a lot of speculation about, what it was like for K-State as they were recruiting through all this stuff. It wasn't the same as what Jerome Tang had, but to K-State's credit as well is that the rules have changed since Jerome Tang had his budget as well. Was it something? Is it a competitive number, do you think? Well, or do you think that they were able to do what they wanted to, I guess?
That's a good question. He doesn't seem bothered by the money, or he's not publicly complaining, which is to his credit. Yeah, a lot of schools are obeying the guidelines of the new NIL rules, and a lot of schools are ignoring them. And until that is addressed and solved, college sports are going to end up being a bigger mess than ever, because now we got two different sets of rules. Kansas State is trying to do it the right way. But honestly, this wasn't really about the rules. It was simply about Jerome Tang burned some donors big time. And he kept selling them and selling them and selling them. And he's a really effective salesperson. And, for now, they've shifted their money. It's going primarily to Colin Klein. There's an understanding of why it's going to Colin Klein. It's not just because basketball burned them, but Colin Klein's back, and I think everyone wants him to succeed. But, there's just less money. But also, we know this: money doesn't decide how good you're going to be. It just doesn't, and it's been proven emphatically at Kansas State.
Yeah, Tim, that's kind of my thoughts as well with this. Is that, I mean, we've seen the other way. We've seen where money hasn't been an issue. We've seen getting in big name recruits like PJ Haggerty, et cetera. Like, we've seen that the way that I guess everybody expects a team to approach things in this new era, and we didn't get results out of it. And Tim, I'm kind of wondering if this is the vibe right now in Manhattan, because this is the vibe I'm kind of feeling with this, that to me it's almost refreshing going into this next basketball season with no expectations, because the expectations were always set so high. Coach Tang comes in, Elite Eight right out of the gate, says expect to win, expect this every single season. And we've been disappointed every season since. So to me, with Coach Alexander and, no big marquee names necessarily, and he's not necessarily going out there, talking a big game and setting that bar high. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but I'm excited just to sit back and watch and just kind of just see what happens without that anxiety of those expectations that we've had before.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's a great point that fans probably have somewhat sense of relief that there aren't these expectations, that some people are disappointed they can't high jump 7 feet. I'm happy if I can jump. And it's all about, where you're setting the bar. And right now, Casey Alexander, because of what happened, has a bar set pretty low for himself, for his program. And that puts him in a position to have success, maybe defined by the bar at more than the postseason. We'll see. I think fans are already beginning to realize he kind of fits the K-State way a little bit better, to develop talent, to coach the heck out of it, to give your team the most advantages possible, instead of just rolling the ball out and saying, go win some games. And I think people are willing to be patient. And someone asked me if I thought attendance would be good. And I said, you know what? I don't think K-Staters quit on Jerome Tang because of losing. I think they quit on Jerome Tang because the way they were losing. They were talented and stunk. Yeah. They weren't well coached. They weren't well prepared. They didn't seem to really compete in some games. And I think all of that will change. And I think K-Staters at the very least will be enthused to see a well-prepared team that looks like it cares about playing for the university.
Speaking of expectations, some news coming out this morning of the Players Era, Fitz. I don't know if you saw this. K-State's a part of the Players Era 16, which is the week of Thanksgiving, and their draw is the national champions, Michigan, Gonzaga, Alabama, St. John's, Louisville, Tennessee, Iowa State, Texas Tech. It is going to be I mean, there's a realistic chance that K-State may be the least talented team in this group. Maybe, who knows? But on paper, as it stands right now, that might be the case. But let's switch to football really quick with the time we have left, Fitz, because we've been dying to talk about this. We're saving it for the very end of the show. You're kind of poking the fire here with a stick. Is K-State wearing an alternate uniform?
I think we will see him. I think Colin is much more plugged into that. And, you know, let's be honest, it wasn't a priority for Bill Snyder. In fact, it was not even on his to-do list. And Chris Kleiman just wasn't his thing. You know, he was willing to do it, but I don't think he ever really wanted to. He did some stuff. I think the uniform that I did the video on, let's start here. I don't like black uniforms. I typically don't. But this was that Nike dark coal color that they
anthracite. Use. It's called anthracite, Fitz.
Anthracite. What a stupid name. I know it's an actual coal color, anthracite, but it uses lavender with it, and it looks absolutely incredible. And I'm hearing people in the athletic department agreed. So it'll be interesting to see where this is going. They've avoided lavender with football. For reasons that I think some people will also believe in. I don't accept this thought about lavender not being a manly color. It's the 21st century. Can we live in it? And I think lavender is Kansas State's opportunity to have a Carolina blue, and they're blowing it. They're absolutely blowing it. I'm not saying change the colors to lavender, but use it as highlights. Some sports uniforms, like basketball, I don't want lavender football uniforms. But lavender stripes, lavender numbers on this uniform, even a lavender helmet, it's pretty cool. And it you know what? A lot of uniforms are just about marketing and brand awareness. And Kansas State hasn't played that game. And I think Colin Klein is going to play that game. Not over the top, not in a Oregon, Oklahoma State way with different uniforms every game. But I think we'll see an alternate once, maybe twice a year. I don't know if that starts this year without many alternate choices because it hasn't been done in the past.
Yeah, I hope so. I saw the photo, the band photo that Avery Johnson shared of that black alternate, and that looked pretty awesome. I mean, let's be like Iowa State, make black or one of our school colors. But I think I'm with you, Fitz, on how to use the lavender on the football side. Use it as an accent. I would like to see the old school Willie on the side of a helmet with the flag, that old school Willie. Something like that. But, yeah, I agree. Maybe once or twice a year do it. But, yeah, I don't want to go like the whole Oregon, Oklahoma State route. I agree with that. I think that's excessive sometimes.
Yeah, you know, and alternate uniforms don't necessarily mean you get away from the brand. I think
right.
A lot of people are very cognitive of how important the Power Cat is, but that doesn't mean you can't put a purple one on a white helmet like they've done, or a white one on a purple helmet, or in this case, a silver one on a coal-colored helmet. I'm not saying the word. PJ, I'm not going to say it.
Anthracite. I think that me and Brady said we said that they're going to change the fight song and change the colors to anthracite and lavender.
It doesn't really have the same ring to the song, but folks, if you have not seen this uniform, there's no middle ground on it. Either you think it's incredible or you want to burn the image of this photo. I'm told that the powers that be now are moving towards this is awesome, and Gene Taylor has said emphatically no lavender in football, but maybe that iceberg will melt. We'll see.
I think that's my biggest question. I think that I have on this because it's for the last. I mean, since I've started covering K-State, it's been taboo to wear alternates because they lose every time they wear them, or almost lose to North Dakota. And it's weird things happen when you don't wear the traditional the 1950s jerseys that they've worn forever. But it was always a weird thing, is that because Kleiman felt like he just didn't really care, and so it was it kind of got pushed down the line. And so who was stopping it? Or is this just a situation to where Colin Klein can be like, no, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it? Is that what happened? Is that there's just now people that want it to happen, or is it an administration thing, or who was holding it back, I guess?
Well, I think it was a matter of if the head coach wasn't making a priority, why would the equipment manager add to his own work?
True.
Because it does that. I can't imagine being an equipment manager at Oklahoma State. Oregon probably has 17 people in charge. Oregon State's probably got some guy named Larry that has to keep track of 12 different uniforms. So apologies to all guys named Larry. I did not mean that as an insult, Larry. But we'll see where this goes. I think we're going to see some more. And I think the biggest question is, we've always been told it takes 2 years to turn these around. We're going to find out real quick if that was truthful or a lie, because 2 years would mean we won't see anything till 28. And I don't see that happening in any way. So we'll find out. It's going to be an interesting story to follow. Here's my one story on Lavender. I love this story that was shared with me. The track wants to go to Lavender. Track and field, which is now turning into a national power, wants to go to Lavender. And here's why. When they're at a massive meet, nobody uses Lavender except for Kansas State. So you always know when they're K-Staters competing, because the Lavender just jumps off the background. You can find them anywhere on the track. Yeah. That's my entire point. Yeah. It is a color that you can own and be your signature color, even if it's not your actual school color.
My biggest thing that I always say is that if you go to a football game, I bet that 60% of the crowd is wearing lavender at that, because everybody has lavender in their closet somewhere at this point. Yeah. It's pretty funny. Fitz, what's going on at Go Power?
I got the quarter zip.
Yep, everyone's got the quarter zip. Got drop podcast today. Gonna have Fighting Ever Fighting with another football coach tomorrow. Same old. Just having a great time covering K-State sports in a very new era.
Great. Cole Carmody's birthday today?
I didn't know that.
Gills tweeted that, so you're welcome.
I blocked him a long time ago.
I believe you. Okay, we're coming right back. Thanks, Fitz.
Bye.
See you, Fitz.